Hi guys, this video I'm going to cover the remote diagnostic button in the new V5 interface, just to explain a little bit about it and the process of it using this new interface. It's just as simple as touching the remote diagnostic button. It will actually enter into an area for the remote diagnosis. Before then, about the paths. There's actually two paths for this version of V5. Now you still have the standard path where it's scanner to scanner, so you can you still need to be friends to each other or send a message to one and then one will reply as a remote diagnosis. He doesn't have to enter into the contact area. The other one is what we call WebRemote. It uses web browser to control the scan tool itself. Now at the moment it will only work on the PADIII units because of the interface, and this is where the actual any device that can run a browser can control the scan tool itself. Now with the browser, it relies on what is actually the benefits of the scan tool. So the version of the software and so forth is relying on what level the scan tool is at that period of time to do the remote diagnosis and even down to programming. You can actually do the remote programming from the web browser, similar to the scanner to scanner version of it. First thing I'll talk about the scanner to scanner. The scanner to scanner is you just enter this area where your friends are now. The messaging and contacts are in this area. So like before, you would contact the other scanner. You can actually add him as a contact and then send him a message. And by simply hitting the positive area here, the drop-down menu will appear. So these files then can be sent to the other scan tool, and you notice that also remote diagnosis is here. So it's simply pressing the remote button to authorize or ask for the remote diagnosis. Now this is also in not only in the message area can access this area, but also the friend area, which is your contact area. So you just select that contact after you search for him, and then also send him a message, and then a scanner to scanner remote diagnosis. Now the next one is WebRemote. Now WebRemote is, as said before, can only operate on this new interface, which is on the PADIII. And there's few things that has to be done first. The web browser can only control the scanner. The scanner cannot send anything or control the web browser or any form of that. At this stage, we're still doing development of it, so it is growing in that way. But at the present moment, you can control the scanner by the web browser, and that's full control. So if your capability of doing the keys and injector programming, it can do it through the web browser, controlling it. But there is conditions with the web browser. Now the web browser, you have to be a technician to use it. Now to log on to it. So I'll go into that later. Firstly, on the scan tool, when the web browser remote is actually operated from the other technician, the scan tool has to be in this area and switched on. This actually gives it authorizations for the web browser to take over the scan tool. So you'll see a button at the top there. You select that button, and then what it does, it will ask you what vehicle you're actually connected to. So you have to select the vehicle that you're diagnosing, or if you're going to do training, you can actually operate it just a demo program, and you can actually do remote training if you need to do it for some reason, and the actual scan tool will see the displays change as you talk to him. Now as I said, once the switch is activated, you selected the vehicle. Now the web browser has 15 minutes to be connected to the scanner. Otherwise, after this period of time, the window closes and you won't be able to access it. So, and then you have to go through the same process again. You just switch it on, select the vehicle, and then the web browser will come in. So there is a closed window area, and you can see where the model has been selected is Ford, so you know what one has been selected. Once it's over, you'll see the two interfaces here. One's the web browser itself, and one's the scan tool. Now, the web browser has a different layout naturally because it's on the browser system, where the scan tool is exactly the same as normal operation, and they'll see both sides exactly the same and activate the same way. So it's pretty handy. Now at the present moment, the web browser has a report area. It's only a small one, but it's at the end of the session. So if you want to end the session of remote, just press the button on the right hand side, and it'll drop down a little window, and you can actually put in up to 600 characters, a message, what you've done, and then end report. This message will be sent later to the scan tool as a message when it's finished, and also kept as a record. So this is the conclusion of the remote diagnosis for the new interface V5 on the PADIII. So I hope this video helps you, and I'll carry on for the next video on one of the other part of the interfacing of the new V5 software. Thank you.